Welcome back to another episode. This is Dave McDonough. You're on Coach's Corner today, and today we got a little diversity going on here today on Coach's Corner. As you know, we have fighters, we have people from many different backgrounds today. I'm Coach Dave. Welcome back to Coach's Corner. Come on. We have the director, Sean King, who is now working on Brooklyn Ties, production that we're hoping to see in the new year. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you.
We also have Joe Digiovanna, one of the actors from Brooklyn Ties. Welcome, Joe.
Thanks, Dave.
And Andrea Prestigiacomo, also one of the actors from Brooklyn Ties.
Thank you, Dave.
Appreciate you guys making the trip up here.
Absolutely.
And, you know, like we were talking a little bit outside, right? Some of the things that you guys have going on with your film and your actors are similar that we see with athletes. You know, there are different struggles and, you know, how we get there, where we're going, and, you know, how we keep it going, pretty much, right? Mm-hmm. So, Sean, I'm going to kind of let you start out with, you know, a little bit about your background as a director and what led you to this production.
I've been in the industry since I would have to say, 10 years old. I started out as a DJ, and then from there I was in the wedding industry from the age of 11, doing DJ work for a few years up until 18. And then after that, I started to study film, but I didn't really get into it. Even in the wedding industry, I was doing the videography. So once I started the videography, filming weddings cinematically, that's when I started to really wanted to learn more about film. So after that, in the year 2002, I started studying film, and I just got more into it. And I just love the art of filmmaking. So I did whatever I could. When I had a camera, I just started filming little things and friends and stuff like that. And then after that, I wrote a short horror movie, and then we went from there, pretty much. So,
I mean, throughout this process, a lot of changes.
Yeah.
And equipment, technology, and everything else,
yeah, everything
right?
changed, yeah.
So, you know, you're changing with the game, but getting to your production right now, Brooklyn Ties.
Yeah.
You've worked in other stuff that you said, horror films and everything else. Tell us a little bit about your idea here and what Brooklyn Ties is about for people out there. We talked about it, so kind of give us, you know, what your vision was.
Yeah.
And we'll shoot some stuff off at you.
Yeah, Brooklyn Ties was, it was a competition thing with someone I didn't like. He was another filmmaker in Manhattan. And I don't know, he said something about I was a bad filmmaker. I was like, all right, I'll show you. And then I just had this vision of doing a street movie, you know, with young guys being young soldiers in the life of crime, trying to be into the mafia.
Right.
So I kind of took elements from stuff that happened in Ozone Park and stuff or whatnot.
Right. You know, look, we're all from New York, right?
Yeah.
We talk about this, right? We're New York guys, right?
We
know, right? Between friends, whatever the case may be, newspapers are, you know, it's out there from, you know, and you guys are in the boroughs, so, you know.
Yeah. We've seen it all.
We've seen it.
Yeah,
right?
Whatever is, you know, that I knew of that I could talk about or whatever. Right. And, you know, I had permission to do so, whatnot, or whatever. So,
but you got your vision on it. Like, you're writing it, okay? You're not, you know, you're in your head saying, okay, I got some ideas, but you're putting it down to.
Yeah, I put it down all on paper, write out the script from there, and then from there, I had to do the casting. So when I did the casting, I kind of got all my characters when we actually did the casting in Manhattan. You know.
So let me ask you this here: what people, because you just made it sound like you did it in about 2 weeks between you wrote it and you cast it. Okay, so like
that actually took the writing part.
Yeah, you told me out there.
Yeah, the writing part took about almost 4 months to write.
Okay, so in the 4 months of writing here, right? You're not just sitting there, okay, everything's flowing. Tell us about that process, because I'm sure there's time we see the old movies. Guys want to crinkle up the paper out of the
Yeah,
typewriter,
that
throw
happened.
that shit out.
That happened a lot. That
You know?
happened a lot. I have to say that happened a lot. I just focused on one character. One character.
But how do you keep the focus and the flow going? Because you're doing this stuff, and you got a personal life also.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's not like, okay, I'm just locked up in a room and tunnel vision, nothing else is going on. I'm going to get this done. How are you maintaining that?
It's just, you just do it. You just go for it. It's what you know.
Right.
What you know keeps it going. You
Yeah.
know, and that's what I focus on. What I know, what I did. You know
Right.
what I mean? Changed the elements to it and just kept it going. And I wrote 30 pages because it started out as a series.
Okay.
So each series was 30 pages.
But
So
now it's good. Now it's into a movie.
now it's
not-
into a movie. It's combined into a movie
Yeah.
now because I didn't want to do a series. I just wanted to do it as a movie
Right.
because, I don't know, series, some point.
What are you looking for time running in this movie?
It's an hour and 28 minutes.
Okay. So now you got the writing down.
Yeah.
You come up with the end product. How was it for you to cast, and what were you looking for people to be in your movie? Did you have a specific, or were you? Okay.
I had a specific because
Okay.
as an artist, you're very particular at
Right.
the right person playing the right part. You know what I mean? And I went off guard because I was going after people that really didn't much have acting talent. You know what I mean? But they had the look that I wanted. So I figure as a struggle, I'm going to struggle with it to actually coach these young
Yeah.
individuals into acting
So
in the world.
you're seeing your experience out
Yeah.
there, and you're looking at guys. Now you're wearing a double hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not only writing,
Not
it,
only
but
writing,
now you're
directing.
getting guys, and no disrespect
Right.
to the guys, right?
No.
None at all, right? You have to see something that you fit the part. Joe fits the part. Andrea
Yeah.
fits the part, right?
Yeah.
But you got to work with them to bring it out.
Right. Yeah.
That's got to
That's
be a
the
little
struggle. That's the hard struggle because some of the actors that I have, they are talented from casting networks
Yeah.
and all those big agencies. They do have acting background, but there's a handful that really don't have the talent. You know what I mean? So it is a struggle getting that personal feelings and the emotions involved to act out the scene, for the performance to be great. Otherwise, the scene is not good.
I mean, as a coach, sometimes
It's like being a coach.
talent is talent, right? So I tell everybody, look, everybody can coach Floyd Mayweather. I take you three guys, put you in the corner, you give him water, you're doing great, champ, put him back out there, right? But coaching comes down to finding raw talent that other people don't see, and working with people
Right.
who have a passion, right? Like,
Absolutely.
because I think if you have somebody who has a passion, you're going to be able to get more out of them. They're going to be more attentive to what you're telling them and responsive. So, like, if you're coaching them, because they want to be better.
Yeah.
Like I know we were talking outside, and Joe and Andreas, you guys have other careers outside of acting. Now you're in something that maybe is a little bit out of your realm. So you're wearing a lot of hats on this production.
Mm-hmm.
In between all of this going on, now you've been at it what? How long?
Almost 6 years. Almost 6
and
years.
you're close now.
I'm close. Almost 6 years in the making. I personally had a lot of downfalls with the film itself. There were times where I just wanted to quit because the frustration working with inexperienced actors. They become jealous of other actors and all that. So it became a struggle for me personally because I believe in the movie itself and also the people that have the talents and don't have the talents.
Right.
I believe in them so much because I know they can do it. They just get, actors like that, they get frustrated because they can't see what I see or feel what I can feel. You know what I mean? So it's the
They're
struggle.
not seeing the end of the rainbow.
No, they're not.
I know. It's like sometimes when we go to camp with fighters, in the instrument part, it's tough for them to see the vision of the coach.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does get frustrating. But how you have a mesh of individuals there now. You have guys who do it on a professional level, guys that you're bringing in. how is that? How are you maintaining that mesh of these individuals to keep some sort of organization on your set to keep your vision going?
It's hard,
Yeah.
because you have two different levels. You know what I mean? You have professional and you have non-professional.
So let
so
me just
basically-
interject here 1 second.
Yeah.
Are the professionals looking at you guys any different? Guys who do this any different?
Not at all. Not at all.
Right.
Actually, I think we're a lot easier to work with in capturing Sean's vision because of our inexperience versus the professionals, because we pretty much could relate to his vision, adapt to his vision, and embrace it. And that sometimes it's difficult for someone with experience and says, "Hey, I want to do it this way." But wait a minute. Sean, I think it'll be better if we take this approach. And with us, I mean, we're pretty raw. And for me, this happened accidentally. In whereas I pretty much embraced this vision and actually became my character, which is named Bruno within Brooklyn Ties.
So you guys are more like, what we call like a sponge. You're willing to take in what Sean's giving you guys and, like you said, Joe, embrace it and run with it. How does that work with the other actors with you guys?
Because we follow
You
his
follow direction.
vision. We like he's very professional, and I really respect what he's doing. And when he says something, we really follow, and it comes out right. Then then you have to have a little bit of natural too. It comes out of you.
Right.
I mean, you can't fake. You got to, like Sean said, you got to become that character.
Right.
If you become the character you play, then it becomes more realistic. It comes out right.
Right.
That's what we do. I play Enzo, he plays Bruno, and we do a great job.
Yeah.
and working with the pros,
Yeah.
they have ego problems, so their
Yes.
egos get into the way. So that's why there's a struggle between me and the pro actors. and
Listen,
whatnot.
it's the same way. I've been
You know?
I've been in camp with a lot of different fighters, right?
Yeah.
And you kind of feel your way through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If there's other coaches there, you let them take the lead. You really don't, because some take direction. Some are really, really great guys,
wanna
and they're
hear
like,
nothing.
they treat you with utmost respect as a coach, and some, do what they do. But
Right.
I get what you're saying. Now you're casting it. Now, what makes you any different than any other organized crime film?
That's a good question.
So and then we're gonna get to
Yeah.
Joe and Andreas, their characters, but in your vision, we've all seen the movies
Yeah.
around. Everybody throws
Yeah.
a crime movie out.
Yeah, I think what makes me different is that I'm independent. It's low budget. It's very high quality. I love to shoot low budget movies to make it look like $1 million movie. That's my vision to have on Brooklyn Ties. And I think that the way it's cut up, I showed some people, and they're like, "Wow, this really looks like $1 million that you have here," which is really not,
Yeah.
But my vision is it's I wouldn't say different, but as far as what's different about it is the cinematography, the directing, the writing is what I see different. But Brooklyn Ties doesn't have that mafia element of like the Goodfellas or the Bronx Tale. Doesn't have that. It just has young guys growing up as soldiers.
So you're
That's
more
crime.
like, are you taking your guys' experiences being guys from New York and being around? Are you bringing that sense of reality to
Like
it?
a connection, like a...
Is it that, like, because people who aren't from our area that see film and everything don't understand sometimes
Right.
what's really going on on the
Yeah.
streets and what people are, the lifestyle of everything that's going on. I think
I think it's our New York attitude within the movie that really makes Brooklyn Ties. It's a fictional story. Obviously, it's made up and whatnot. But
So
but
nobody get out there get butthurt about anything like
No.
this.
but it, Coach, it's the untold story. It's the foot soldiers. It's the young guns. It's the story that's not told.
Yeah.
That out in the street, just trying to make a little name for themselves in whatever it may be. Whether it's a stick up or whether it's just getting the job done and handing something over to someone else.
So since we got Joe and Andreas here, tell me a little bit about their characters. Then I'm going to talk to them and
yes.
what you when you were
Sure.
writing this, your thought process of what their characters were going to be, and then obviously you have Joe, you casted him,
Yeah.
casted Andreas. How you got to these two guys?
How I got to these two guys was another cast member, Joe DeBari. And I told him, I was like, look, I have this scene. I need two guys. Can you help me out? I was like, yeah, I got you two guys, no problem. And then somehow we did a big scene. We did a card game scene. That
was
went,
great.
Yeah, that went totally left field. And then I met Andrea and Joe that day. And once I saw them, I was like, they're perfect for the scenes that I would need them for as characters. So Joe plays a character named Bruno. Bruno's a young guy on the street who is a loose cannon. And he just, he'll take risks and just do anything. Andrea plays an underboss of Angelo Rigatti. And he's the type of guy that just, is old school.
Yeah.
And he just, he's more relaxed on
Trying to
certain
school
things.
the guy.
I can see that.
School that.
Trying to school the guy.
So he's
yeah.
got that
Yeah.
dilemma about him. So that's how I kind of met these guys and trying to.
You got that seasoned look. And,
Yeah,
and
well-
Joe
well
definitely,
versed.
Joe definitely
Yeah.
got that little bit of wildness about him.
I got listen.
You know?
Everything I wanted to do growing up that I never did because I'm in finance and very successful. What this character allows me to do is just become
Brings it
demonic.
right out.
It just allows me to become demonic.
He's the double life, right? Lives,
Yeah.
So it's
let's- Go ahead,
Andrea. Is this young guy named Tommy Argento? It's like so he's a little bit like so, but I want to protect him in a way because I feel like I have to protect this guy. I like him as my son, like a son. So I'm trying to put under my wing and school him, trying to show him an easy way to make money to survive. And to do the right thing, not to be in too much drama or situation. And, so I'm trying to help him out and stuff like that. But it comes to a point that that I have to make a choice about this kid, what we're going to do with him. So and then it continues. But it's very interesting, very interesting. I love the script.
I mean, it sounds it. And one thing I want to ask you guys is like you just mentioned on it, Joe. You guys got stuff going on outside of this, personal lives, careers, and everything, families. How do you prepare for this? Like you're going from one thing to another. What's your preparation?
A lot of sleepless nights in regards to just making the time within your normal 9 to 5, the friends, the family, getting everything you need to get done. That's a priority in your life, and then rolling in, whether it be a late evening, for example, we're filming a scene Monday night. This Monday night, we're filming at 12 o'clock midnight. And then with that is just making the time and doing it the right way, Coach. I mean, we don't want to do this half-ass. We have a lot invested in this. We see Sean's vision, and we know it's going to succeed. But the most difficult part is making the necessary and taking the necessary time and paying your dues. We have to study our lines.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So whether it's and trying to nail it from the first take. Not wasting and with Sean and Andrea, we
feel it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great.
We got a great crew now. I mean, in regards to and not hence crew physically.
I understand.
A great cast.
You got a great team of guys to be successful there.
To
we
really
respect
close
one
the
another
movie.
and we follow. We do the right thing, respectful, and we really, really look at Sean like. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He knows. And I respect a lot
to really
of
close the movie out. I mean, and there's no tension. There's no animosity.
No stress. There's no stress.
You know,
How did you
it's
guys
like-
get to that point?
Not with these guys.
Because that didn't happen the first time out there, right?
No.
We all know there had to be some growing pains here.
Yeah. Well, they weren't in the mix.
Sean
of the
went
growing-
through a few times.
They
with-
weren't in the mix during the growing pains.
So they weren't with you at the
nah,
beginning?
they weren't
No,
into
They
the
came
beginning.
in. Okay.
They came in towards the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with all the pain and the hassle that I had in the beginning was there was a lot of arguments between the pro actors because they had egos
Right.
and jealousy between one another. So, during that time, I had to make a choice. I had to cut them,
Yeah.
I had to cut them out because, I don't like animosity on my set. You know what I mean? I don't like ego. I don't work with egos.
I
Even if
agree.
if I had to work with a celebrity, a big name, and he had an ego, you're gone. I'm not
I
working
agree
with
with
No,
you,
you
Sean.
can't because it becomes a problem.
You got to, look, as a team, you guys are a team, right?
Yeah.
We
Absolutely.
work in sports as a team, right? Everybody kind of got to stay in their lane, all right?
Yes.
Sometimes you're the lead, sometimes you're not the lead, whatever the case may be. There's a head coach, there's a head director, or there's reasons for that pecking order.
Yeah.
For it to work, everybody's got to work as a unit, and I'm with you. I'm not going to, and I haven't, and I've lost working with fighters because it just doesn't feel. I got to feel. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure that our team is doing what they do, okay? I do something well, maybe you do something well. Well, the end result for you is the project. The end result for me is taking to the fight to win,
Right.
right? So everybody putting in,
But you got to work all together.
yeah,
you
that's
know.
right.
Yeah.
It takes a village, right?
Yeah.
It takes a
Yeah.
village.
Yeah.
That's what I say to people.
Yes.
People don't see back what you guys are doing, and we talked about this outside. The day your movie drops, they're going to say, oh, man, this movie is great. I mean, they're not going to realize it took 6 years of your life
Right.
and
Yeah.
parts of your flesh and,
Yeah.
a little bit of this and maybe, relationships that you've had with family, friends, whatever, however your struggle was to get there.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't give up. No matter how much the animosity was between actors and personal people on the outside, I will not
But
give
nothing
up. I would
good
just keep
comes
going.
easy, coach.
It
Nothing
doesn't.
good.
Listen,
No.
it definitely doesn't. And you know what? For me, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would not be there if you didn't believe in what you were doing. If you didn't believe in
Absolutely.
Sean,
Right.
like you gotta have that passion, and it's not
The
always
energy,
it's
the
not
right
always-
energy,
yeah,
you
the
know,
energy.
right,
It's
absolutely.
not about the money sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, our respect
Yeah.
and our professionalism for one another at this point has really allowed us to gel as a group. So it's
I can
It's
finally
pretty
say
amazing.
that I've got a whole group now of actors that really love the passion and the people that are on set, and the performance comes out just so beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we've really become good friends, and
Yeah.
hence, I use the word family. I mean, Andrea and I are a different story because I've known Andrea since I was a
47
kid.
years.
Oh, wow.
No, well, actually, I was about 5 years old on Knickerbocker Avenue, going into the coffee shop with my
I'm an
dad.
old guy. I'm 65 almost.
Yeah, Andrea used to be behind the counter. Italian kids are really big on fruit drinks. So I wanted a pear
This is
drink.
crazy.
He used to hand me a peach drink, and at 5 years old, hence
You made a
the
big
loose
fuss.
cannon I wanted to be. Growing up, I
Yeah.
used to throw the bottle at him. And my dad
funny
used to
to
look
say,
at him and
"Andrea,
say, "Hey,
what are you
what are you
doing?"
doing to my son, bro? What are you doing?"
Every
But-
Sunday was a story. I did it on purpose to break his,
Yeah.
But back to the movie. I mean, our camaraderie has really allowed
But
us
we
to
work
gel.
really good together. And there also is another guy named Anthony. I want to mention Anthony Avitale. We did a scene. Oh, he's amazing. We have a great energy together, right? Anthony is unbelievable.
That was one of the great scenes. Between
Yeah,
us two.
Anthony is really
Definitely.
good.
So let's talk about shooting a little bit.
Yeah.
How does that work for you? And you guys said you're shooting Monday at midnight. What are you looking for when you're shooting scenes? And you're shooting mostly in Brooklyn right now, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
You scouting out the areas, or do you
I
have
do.
somebody? So
No,
what
I
if,
do.
when you go out there, you're like, okay, I need this. I'm looking. How does that process work? And then to get to shoot there, what do you got to go through?
when whatever the scene is laid out, I got to figure out the location. So if it's a bar or a club or a pizzeria or a restaurant, whatever it is, it's not just any pizzeria or restaurant or location. It has to be some sort of
The right
specific,
spot,
the
yeah.
right spot,
Yeah.
the right lighting, the right setup. It has to be all that. When it comes to me, anyway, I don't know how other filmmakers work. I just don't go anywhere. I need the right place to do it, because it when you're shooting, it draws life to the scene,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that's what basically I'm picky about. When it comes to that.
How hard is it to shoot in the city right now?
Oh, it's hard. You have to deal with the noise, the outside noise,
Yeah.
planes, cars, trains. When they're doing the scene out in the middle of the street, people just are rude. They'll beep the horn, and they're in the middle of the moment.
Yeah, you
And
can see that we're
it's
there.
tough.
They'll walk right into the
They'll
moment
walk right.
as well. I mean, this
they'll
is
walk
New
right
York.
into the moment. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it's hard. So it's we don't have that big money to shut down a whole section of a block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. But there are ways and tricks that you could just do it. Just go
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
And I've learned throughout the filmmaking career a lot of the tricks of the trade. So, and that's,
Right.
we just run and gun it.
So now, shooting at midnight, you got guys working, got people coming throughout,
Lots of
that's
coffee.
got to
Yeah.
be an interesting
Yeah.
interesting dynamic now.
Yeah, this is going to be a great scene. Starts at midnight. I'm sure everybody's probably be tired, but
How long do you think it takes usually for you?
to do that scene, I don't want to say what it is, but
Right.
that scene should take about almost 6 hours.
Wow. What's the prep work for that, guys? Joe and Andreas, what's your prep work for that?
It's bringing up your intensity. I pretty much know what the scene is about, so I'm going to go into the scene with a mission and getting a job done, and
Put the right energy in there, and you feel good, and
Yeah.
you be relaxed. You know what I mean? Because people get nervous.
Yeah, well, you seem like, you're pretty relaxed.
No, I try to
like you.
only when they push my buttons.
Yeah.
I have to get him to push his button to get to that.
You got to get them.
To get to that level.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time.
Well, get Joe to
him.
throw the goddamn pad
Yeah.
drink at him.
I got that done, bro. I'll squeeze the juice out of it, bro.
Joe's
Squeeze the juice,
Very
bro.
easy to get to that high level
Yeah.
where I
So,
need him.
you know
Yeah,
what?
man.
I see two different types of personality and
Yeah.
preparation here, right? Which we see in different athletes also. So, Joe, and I'll get to Andreas in a second. When you get to set,
Right.
what's your routine? You're going to be in a shoot. What's your routine?
My routine, I'll be honest with you, Coach, is as soon as I get to the set,
Yeah.
I'm not speaking to anybody.
Yeah.
I just became my character. So
Yeah.
so don't effing bother
It's a
me.
transformation.
That's
You
a
know,
rule.
don't bother me.
Yeah.
And you know what? Someone comes up to me, someone wants to have a conversation. I don't care what you did today. I don't want to know what you did today.
I love that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
I was just as busy as you were, man. Don't bother me.
Yeah.
I'm my character now. I'm gonna give you.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
the
give you
same.
hell if you walk up to
Yeah.
me. I'm going in with Sean's vision. I got a mission, and the
That's
only
it.
thing I'll tell you is, I'm getting. It's dollar signs. I'm in there for getting the job done,
That's
Yeah.
it.
and I'm walking out happy.
How long on doing your scenes and your lines? How is that for memorizing for you? What does it take for you to get that done? Because you're locking in, and similar to some fighters you go into, like I have some fighters, you don't even go near them.
Right.
The closer it gets to the fight with a fighter, okay, you don't even go near them. And personalities, right? You got to judge because you're managing personalities like me.
Right,
You
yeah.
got a lot of personalities running around on the set, right? So, and I can see maybe Andrea is a lot different than you when he gets to work.
Right.
But memorizing and learning your lines are, obviously before you get there and your warm
Well,
up.
this one thing is when you read the lines, okay, you study the lines.
Yeah.
But when you go and you play the part, you got to take away that you're not reading the lines now. Now you got to
Right.
get into that character. So sometimes in the beginning you get a little bit, but as soon as you get into that character, it comes out great.
Yeah.
Comes out great.
So I know my own, and I know my character well now. As far as his attitude, learning the lines, I'm very well educated. non-issue.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, as far as memorizing them,
Yeah, we good.
piece of cake. It's a piece of cake. The only thing I do prior to every scene, and this isn't on set, I reach out to Sean and say, Sean, hey, I'm looking at reading it or doing it this way. What do you think? And he's like, no, Joe, when you get there, I want it like this. Or this is the way I want you.
Right.
No, say it this way and give that look that you usually give.
Right.
Yeah.
And I try to communicate with Sean prior to every scene. This way, when we get there, there's not 10
you
takes.
talk about it. You know,
You know,
talk
we're
about
not-
it.
And
It's
that's another
Yeah.
thing I was going to ask you guys. You guys are obviously meeting and going over stuff together. Are you
Yeah,
sitting down
yeah,
with your
yeah.
cast and saying, look, this is what we're looking to do
Yeah.
or achieve, and kind of walk through people? Because you have a lot of, like you said, maybe not so experienced actors out there.
Yeah, there is a reading rehearsal that we do before we actually do the actual scene. So we'll meet somewhere, even if it's like a lunch type of thing, and then we'll read the scene. We'll go over it. You know, I'll even direct them while my production crew is not even there. So I'll direct them at a table like this, and this is what I want. This is how I want. I want you to say it like this. You know, I need you to get a little more mad. I need you more emotional in that character. So, and a lot of times they can't really grasp into it right then and there. But when they're on set, it's like
It
go
changes.
time.
It changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Because
changes.
at first, you're thinking about all the lines, but you gotta, like I said, you gotta concentrate and get in, and then I become Enzo.
Yeah.
So then I'll be comfortable, and then after that, it comes out great.
So what's your Andrea? What's your preparation when you get there? Because you know it seems from sitting with you guys,
yeah.
you're a little different than Joe going to the, you know,
Well,
you're like a little more of an elder statesman.
I'm an old timer. That's why.
Yeah.
So I look at it probably a little different way, but I do the job.
Yeah.
You know, I do the job because like I concentrate on what I do, and sometimes I read it and read it and read it like 30, 40 times until it gets into my system, and then it comes out
Then it
right.
comes out.
You know. But everybody prepares themselves a different way. You got a different way of doing something.
Yeah.
But then in the end, if you follow what he's saying, all right, sometimes you could, like Joe says, you have a suggestion. Oh, what do you think instead of saying good morning, I say buongiorno? I'm just saying.
Right.
No, leave it the other way around. So then you just push it that way.
love it.
That's it, leave it alone.
So one second, what brought you to acting?
Well, me, I tell you the truth. I used to be in the restaurant business. I used to do jewelry, whatever. And one day I just was in a cafe and someone says, I like your look. You want to work in the Godfather of Harlem? I said, you serious right now? So then this guy calls me after about a month and a half and he got me in. And I work as a contract. I did like 6 episodes over there.
Yeah.
And then after I did different parts of different things, and we working on a different movie also, a couple of things that we don't want to talk about it, but we working on different things. Then I got my SAG card with the union, and I get a lot of different. I worked in Law and Order the other day a couple of times. You know, I do different things.
Right.
But you know, in all the things I've been doing, I just love what he's doing, and we want to finish it because we see, me and Joe see it. That it's gonna be epic.
Yeah, you guys are on the ground floor of something here. I think honestly,
It's gonna be great.
starting things where you can build it,
Yes.
and have a real integral part of the build. You know, I find with fighters taking projects, in a sense, and it's more satisfaction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and you got 6 years of your life in this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
years.
man,
Sometimes
like
you meet the wrong people,
he's
you know?
pretty calm and cool for a guy who's been,
know, it is,
you
you
know,
know.
and I'm sure there's other stories behind
Run
it.
through the ringer, yeah.
I'll be honest with you, you know, like all my life, I've been, even though I'm a small guy,
Yeah.
I'm a fighter at heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I fight.
He
no
doesn't
matter
give
what
up.
it
He
is.
doesn't give up
I don't
that-
give
that
up
he's-
because you can't tell me no. There's
Yeah, I
no way
like
you're
that.
telling me no.
You know, and I'm the same way, Sean. You know what? And you know, I'll use the Dana White line. You know, tell me no, and I'm gonna fucking prove you wrong.
Exact.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how
that's
I am.
it.
You know,
That's
I'm
That's
gonna-
what he
I'm
is.
a lion.
I love that. I love that line.
Yeah.
You know that he says there, and
Yes.
you know, shout out to Dana. But yeah, I agree with you, and the more we talk, I'm sure there's a lot of different struggles that you went through
Yeah.
there to keep this thing going, and you're close to the finish line right now.
Absolutely, man. We have some great scenes, man, and he fits the right character. I fit the character, and it comes out so good. It's fantastic. And I feel it. I feel it that we're gonna go all the way, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. A great movie.
Did you guys envision it taking so long with this project
No.
when you first started?
No.
I mean,
Then
what do you think your original time frame was? Without any hiccups.
6 months.
Really?
6 months, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, in the beginning, it was 6 months. Because I had everything planned out in my notes.
Yeah.
From all the shooting dates and the schedules with the actors and stuff like that.
So all throughout this time frame, you're just focused on Brooklyn Ties. There's
Yeah.
nothing else.
Nothing else.
Wow.
Nothing else.
Wow.
I was offered a lot of, not a lot, I would say maybe about 2 or 3 scripts. But I told him, I'm finishing my movie right now.
Yeah.
He's
That's it.
focusing on that. He wants to finish.
Yeah.
We're at
it.
the finish line, Dave.
And a
we
lot-
feel it, and,
And
we
those
know.
three would hit me with some, some numbers that, I didn't want to say no, but I had to because I just believe in the Brooklyn Ties and the cast. that I
Well,
have
you
now.
know,
You got to believe in what you do.
Yeah, I agree.
You
Look,
have to.
Yeah.
if we look at past, right? You talking about Rocky before. That movie comes about. Stallone is on the balls of his ass.
Right? Right?
On the balls of his ass. Takes the project and runs with it. Bronx Tale. And I'm sure there's other movies and everything out there that directors and actors have hung in there and have had a great success. I mean, I think that's an attestment. I don't think you see that much today
No.
Yeah.
anymore.
no.
I think with social media and the creative minds out
Yeah.
there today, I don't think they have that patience or
Yeah.
that
No, you got to have the patience. You see, you say the right word. You have to be. If you're not patient, you couldn't do this.
Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned social media, but the streaming business now,
Yeah.
pretty much, I mean, it hasn't seen anything like Brooklyn Ties.
Yeah.
So once this thing drops, once the movie drops, and Sean wraps it up,
Yeah.
it's going to give us a platform. It's going to give us a huge platform, and
Yeah,
it's something it's something that you really don't see on the streaming channels because it is different. It is different, and not only for Brooklyn Ties, but also for actors like us, giving us the opportunity, to put ourselves out there, give ourselves exposure, because again, we're corporate professionals in a different world, and this is something that we've accidentally fell back on, and which is great. Which the platforms that we have today are great, not only for the actor, but for the filmmaker and for the industry.
But we feel very positive. We feel very
Yeah,
positive.
I mean, honestly, the vibe and what I've been watching on your guys' social media, it's exciting. It's going to be exciting to see what it drops.
Yeah.
It's now. Tell us a little bit about some of the other cast members of this movie.
Okay.
We got Joe and Andrea here today, and we don't want to leave anybody out. We want plug your team.
Yeah, I have a lot of cast members in there.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through all of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
because we'll be here all day. But one of the leads is Seth Nicoletti. He plays a cokehead, cocaine addict.
Yeah.
And who is not supposed to do drugs, because obviously, you're not supposed to have the drugs in that life or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, but he's a nephew of a mob boss, a real big-time mob boss in Brooklyn, and he just runs wild and gets into bad relationships with people, and he's a liar, and he does all this manipulating stuff with his character. And then there's Joseph Anthony Snyder, who is a very young kid who is involved in all this, and he doesn't know where to turn. And he meets a girl, and he doesn't know what choice he should make. So that's that one. Raphael Santarelli, he plays an old school boss, but he plays it in prison. He's in prison.
So you got a lot of dynamics.
So it's,
here
yeah,
going on
that's why
with
the story just goes from straight to narrow back into straight again.
Yeah. So
It's something different.
how do you maintain the symmetry with all these dynamics going on that it ties in?
Egos.
Egos,
Straight up
yeah.
egos.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I get the ego part, but more for you, Sean, the vision of you got all these moving parts going on to bring it together to one vision.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work for you?
It just comes to me, man. It just.
How many times have you changed this script?
That's a good question, and I would say about 12 times.
Well, you change it because sometimes you have different characters, different people, right?
Well, yeah, I changed it in a way where the people that I cut,
Yeah.
Right.
I rearranged the
You
scenes.
rearrange, right.
You know?
Right.
But you don't. I understand that because maybe, like Andrea is saying, you might change it up because a character might give you an idea. You might have a different idea, but not the main idea of the script has not been changed.
No.
Okay,
No.
that's what I
concept
meant.
is
That's
still
the
there.
concept.
The main,
yes.
yeah, the
The
main.
integrity's always been
Yeah,
there.
that's
it's
always-
that's what I'm
always
talking
there.
about.
Yeah.
It's
okay?
still the same title, you know what
It's
I mean?
still and let's talk about the title. All right.
It's
Brooklyn
iconic.
Ties, yeah.
It's iconic.
Honestly, I think it is.
It's
I
like
mean,
Brooklyn Connection, you know, Brooklyn
honestly,
Ties.
like if you look at, I'm not a brand guy,
Yeah.
and from a branding aspect, like I don't think you could have put a
Better
better.
name.
Yeah,
I
a lot of
think-
people would tell me you got a gold mine there. Like,
Yeah, I
was
think
like,
because
wow,
like
okay.
honestly, and you guys, we all know that today, right? Social media, business,
yeah.
everything is just not about the movie. It's what else can go with the
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and I appreciate the shirts you guys brought up.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
You know,
The advertisement.
And
Yeah.
we got a lot more from where that came from, but
How
we
did-
don't want to divulge
yeah,
everything,
that's what
right?
I'm saying. That's where
The merch.
Let me ask you, how did you hear about the Brooklyn Ties? Was it the Instagram? Was it the...
I caught Joe on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
and
Everybody catches him there.
yeah. So here's the thing, right? Building a platform, I'm trying to network also, right? With guys.
Yeah.
And a couple of different guys that you had there, and some other stuff, and I'm not gonna mention people's names and shows through here that have circled and been through the boxing world, and I just think that kind of goes what I'm doing with my platform. You guys are starting to ground up.
Yeah.
I'm starting to ground up, right?
Yeah,
Like, you
that's
know what?
great.
I like the struggle. I like what's going through, and then eventually going to see the end result that you guys put out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
But you're
I
going to
love
get
that.
very big, Dave. I feel it.
Yeah,
because
listen, you know
you
what,
got
Andreas?
a good personality. It's
I
great.
appreciate that.
No, it's true.
But my thing is like you guys. I'm doing this because this is taking a life of its own for me. I'm totally like you, Joe.
Yeah.
You different career, different.
Yeah.
And I was never a guy who was liked having my picture taken or being.
Yeah, I'm the same
But
way.
now
Yeah,
it's
I agree.
now.
You have no
Okay,
choice. This is what
now
it is. Yeah.
with we'll talk about this a little bit with social media. It's a whole different game out
Yeah,
there.
it
today.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And even forget about the podcast end of it. For me, coaching, people say to me, "Well, why don't you video when you go here? Or why don't you do this when you're here?" I was in camp with Canelo. I was in camp, and I don't know. It's awkward for
Right.
me. It's awkward. Like if the opportunity presents itself, okay.
Yeah.
But it's just
But
kind
today,
of
this is what it is. If you
Yeah.
don't do some kind of social,
yeah. And you come.
See,
and you're,
I'm
you're
learning.
a
I'm
little
learning
older than
through
me.
him.
You're a
Yeah.
little older than me, so you're coming out of that same school,
same
the
thing.
same upbringing
I'm
and
an old
everything.
timer.
Yeah.
I learned from him, because
Yeah.
he's great with that. I
But-
mean,
To answer your question, it was Joe and the name.
Oh,
The name.
Yeah.
unbelievable.
The name, and it was like, you know what? And I think the fact that you guys are not dropping a lot of stuff. So I'm like, what is this? When is it going to go? When is this? I'm trying to
he's,
get
a,
him.
he's a little
that-
conservative.
I'm
That's my
trying-
trick.
I'm trying to get some,
Like a view.
background on you guys,
A view, yeah.
okay? To say, okay. And I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, the only thing you'll have is IMBD out there
Yeah.
showing you that we're there, we're legit, and we're gonna drop soon. And
yeah.
Yeah, the trailer's going to
Yeah.
drop in
Well, we
in
got three more
January.
scenes, Sean. Three
The
more
trail,
scenes.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the trailer's going to drop in
so
January.
let's talk
well,
about that,
Yeah,
okay, for a second.
yeah.
You've done all the hard work.
Mm-hmm.
All the completion comes up, right? Everything is, you edit it.
Yeah.
What is the process to drop it now? How does that work? How to get it out there, okay? Like you just don't, years ago, and he'll know, maybe Joe doesn't know, but there were records.
Yeah.
Remember
Right.
records?
I got records.
Right, you got
I'm up
records.
to that.
Yeah.
I still
I
have
may
my
look young.
Artists who went out would actually walk around, maybe
Mm-hmm.
tapes, records, to everything to get their stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get it out there now when you're done?
Advertising.
Really?
Pay for advertising. That's the only way as of now.
But
You
to
know?
get it into the hands of dropping it for the public to see, not out there in the
Now, like you said before, you got the internet. So
Okay.
now is the trick of the algorithm of the internet to
Right.
do the advertising, like the YouTube advertisements,
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook advertisements.
Yeah.
They all have that algorithm to
Yeah.
advertise in there. You know,
Yeah, it's
Yeah, but your sense is, how do we put it right into that streaming and or that movie
No,
theater?
yes.
Yeah.
So where is it exactly going, Sean?
Oh, you
Amazon.
mean like
Amazon, Amazon,
Okay.
Tubi, all the
Amazon,
streaming,
right,
all the
right.
big streaming networks.
Okay.
Yeah. So I personally don't do that. You have to go through a distribution company to do that.
Right.
I can't mention the name because I'm not signed with them yet. But
But
they
when
did
you-
send me a contract.
Okay, so when you get your project is done,
Yeah.
right? And is there a criteria for them to take you on, or they look at your project and say, "Yeah, we want to put this on Amazon. We want to stream it out there."
Yeah,
Is
there is criteria to go through and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There is, like I said, there is a contract with a percentage that they take.
Right.
But obviously we take the most of it. But what they do is they'll take the movie and put it on all the big platforms. Someone told me that something about Netflix. I don't want my movie on Netflix. The only reason being is, even though it's a big platform, they don't pay you. They don't pay you enough.
Yeah.
They give you a very low amount of. They lease it. It's like
Yeah.
leasing a car. That's what they do with movies. They lease movies.
and Hulu is the same thing, Sean?
Hulu is the same as Amazon.
But would they become the sole proprietor? Is that the reason why?
No,
would
Netflix
they-
Yeah,
wants a
well,
buyer. Wants a buyer.
Netflix,
yeah.
I'm
No.
referring to.
I don't think you have the ability to spread it out if you're with
No,
Netflix.
that's
That's correct.
That was my
That's
next.
what I
Right,
was
right.
getting-
That's what
Yep.
it is.
You know.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I was getting to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Netflix is one of the biggest in the game,
Yeah.
but I don't want to have my film held on just to Netflix.
Right.
I want it to be spread out to Amazon, HBO, Showtime, Cinemax.
You want to be
Hulu.
global.
I want to be global with it. Yeah.
So you could spread it. You could
Yeah.
spread it, yeah.
But my main thing is Amazon.
Yeah.
That's my main goal.
So, predictions. You guys all feel pretty strong about it. Let's go
Absolutely.
around the room and, and I think honestly, look,
I feel great.
you know,
man.
when it drops,
We
I
gotta
know
celebrate.
I know
We gotta
everybody.
celebrate.
Everybody will be a little anxious, but what's your feeling?
Dave, when you start watching Brooklyn Ties and you see myself and my peers on it, and you see me there with that demonic look, you're gonna say, "Oh shit, I know that guy."
Yeah.
Look at him, man.
Yeah.
Is that Joe that I met in the podcast? You're gonna rewind it and stop it and go, "Wow, that guy looks
You're
crazy."
going to want to see it again.
No,
Yeah.
you're gonna want to see it again. We really feel it. We
Nah,
really
we do
bought
it
into
good.
our characters.
Yeah.
We bought into the product, and the name itself, as you mentioned, is iconic. But it's not about the name; it's about the story. It's about
fits in.
Sean's
It fits in.
Sean's direction, and his vision, and it's absolutely different. Hey, as you guys mentioned and we mentioned earlier, we all grew up watching all the movies that we all talk about.
Yeah.
And the HBO series
But
and
you know,
all good stuff
we
like
in,
that.
We in the same
know?
energy. That's the most important thing. That we're not like disagree and we argue. No, we all fit
Yeah,
in,
you're
and
bringing
it
it.
looks like a puzzle. We all
Yeah, and,
And
I
we-
love that right off the
Yeah,
rip.
yeah, I'm
I like
serious.
the way you can feel that stuff. Now, Joe, you and Andrea, how long have you been involved? I know with the project here.
With the project now, I would have to say we've been within Brooklyn Ties maybe for about 8 months now.
About that.
Yeah,
maybe
Yeah.
about
8
8
months.
months.
Yeah.
We have about, and then Sean can tell you, we have about, and again, obviously there's editing of scenes and things to that nature. What
Yeah.
makes the cut, what doesn't make the
Yeah.
cut. We have about 10 scenes under our belt. Within Brooklyn Ties, and we're having a great time. This is new to us
Yeah.
as well, and we're professionals, as we mentioned earlier.
No, we enjoy it. We
And-
enjoy it.
and-
From the
and-
beginning to when we finish, we had a good day,
Yeah.
We've adapted, and it's paid dividends. I mean,
Yeah.
from the first scene, and it's just evolved.
Yeah.
How does it work with your work schedule?
I'm pretty structured. I'm a 9 to 5.
No, I don't mean like that. I mean like, if Sean calls you up and say, "Hey guys,
I'm a bum. I don't work.
Let's go. Let's
Okay.
make
I'm
the
ready.
you
time.
have that flexibility."
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
Let's go. Let's make the time. It's go time.
So,
Yeah.
one thing we got to talk about in New York, we all grew up in this area and people don't know a lot of different things in this area. I'm going to ask you a couple of things here.
Sure.
Dress and music for your movie.
Oh,
Dress and music.
that's
okay.
interesting.
You know, who's putting together the outfits? Is it you? And who's picking the music behind this?
Me.
Okay.
I'm doing it all.
What's your thought process?
Well,
Well, not forget about your process. What's the vision that you had for this? And one other question. Sorry.
Yeah.
When is it shot? 90s, 80s, 2000s?
Okay. For the dress part, for the wardrobe, it's today. Everything is today.
Jogging
that's-
suits.
Yeah,
T-shirt.
I like
yeah.
black because bad guys wear black.
too.
So-
I
I'm like Andrea. Look,
Yeah.
black and warm-up suits.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Sneakers.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
don't deal with the pinky rings. I don't deal with
Yeah.
the gold chains. I'm just not,
Right.
from how I was brought up, we never saw that,
Yeah.
with these guys. But as far as I should say, I'm sorry, the young kids, we never had that as far as being one of those.
Yeah, because the
street
old
kids.
timers were driving around with the holes
Right.
in their jackets,
Yeah.
and you didn't
Yeah.
know who they really
Yeah.
were.
Now, as far as the music, I write the music. I do it.
Really?
I write the scores, the music scores.
So you're not picking any track. It's all your
Nah, it's all my
Really?
music scores. Yeah.
man. So you're vested deep into this thing.
Yeah,
All
I
around.
used, like I said, I used to produce music, house
Right.
music, R&B, whatever. But as far as music scores for the movie, like especially a dramatic scene,
Yeah.
it's got to be written specifically. I do have somebody else who is a pro that guides me how I want certain notes to be
Right.
dragged out in certain moments and stuff like that. But I do the music.
Yeah. So you're not just sitting in the chair yelling "cut" every day.
No.
No, he's all.
I try to. You know what it is? I
But
try
I see.
not to
I
make
like
it
that.
easy.
I respect that because you know what? I think, when you take a project, whether it's an athlete, a movie, a song, or something that you have to put your heart and soul in, you got to
Yeah.
be able to put everything into it.
If you don't do that,
because
it's not worth
you
it.
know what it is. It's not the way the actors when they perform. It's not just their heart and soul.
Yeah.
It's mine too.
Yeah.
So I don't like
Yeah.
nothing that's
It's
easy.
a whole package.
I love a challenge.
Yeah.
That's
How is
me.
he on the set, Joe?
He's listen, it's his way or the highway, and that's why there's been
He's
a lot
very
of
tough.
turnover.
He's tough.
And we're
He's
good
very
with
firm.
that.
When
We're good with
he
that.
changes completely, he's like, "This is the way I want it. Let's do it again. Let's do it again." He makes you do it 20 times.
But it's about us feeling the character more than
Yeah.
anything else.
Yeah.
It's becoming the persona
Yes.
that really triggers us.
Do you think
So-
he brings it out of you?
Yes, he gives you that. It's not a push. It's like he makes you feel like,
Yeah.
do it this way. Because he believes in you,
Is he making you guys
and you
better?
believe in him.
Has he made you guys better actors?
Yeah, he's taught us a great deal. Obviously,
Yes.
we're
Yeah.
pretty raw in the business. So with
Yeah.
that, I would say absolutely. Is he bringing maybe somebody
Like
out
you,
of me?
you're a coach, right? If you're not a coach, he's a coach.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Is he bringing somebody? Is he exercising somebody out of me? Maybe there's 10% truth to that. I mean, in regards to you just growing up in New York,
Yeah.
But with that, no, absolutely.
Mentality
We're
is
learning
good.
a great deal.
Mentality is great. Yeah.
We're learning
Yeah,
a
there
great
there
deal.
are times that I'll scream on the set.
No.
Yeah, but
Really?
not with these.
No,
not with
no.
these,
We're
these
being
guys.
good. We're being good.
That's what I want to hear, man, because you're
His-
pretty calm in here.
No, no,
you know?
see-
No, with other people.
Working with Andrea and Joe and certain other actors, Gigi,
Yeah.
they're easy to work with because they know how to develop their character.
Yes.
Okay, it's the people that don't know, that don't listen to what I'm
They're
saying
stubborn, very
on
stubborn.
directing the actual character, because now I have to get this bad attitude. I have to yell at them. I have to get them where I need them to be, and sometimes they don't know it because they take it personal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they get angry at me, and that's what I want, and that's a trick as a director.
Yeah, sometimes some people, I get it. You got to piss
Tough
them
love.
off.
You gotta piss
tough
them
No,
off to get that
I
out
had
of
a fighter in a camp, and we're sparring one day, and I'm like, listen, this is what we need. Come in here, do our job, and he starts off like crap. And we're 6 weeks into camp, getting ready for a big fight.
Yeah.
And he comes over, I'm tired. I said, bro, I gave you the day off yesterday. I said, I tell you what. He was living with me at the time. I said, when you're done here today, you can get your fucking shit and go back home. I said, because I'm fucking done. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
And he went back out for 3 rounds and beat the shit out of the poor kid. And then we're sitting there afterwards, and he said something to me. I said, but why do you got to make me friggin' yell at you like this? I said, he goes, Coach, sometimes I need that.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
like
saying.
the fire.
And you know what? It was like,
I
I'm
think
like,
so, yeah.
But, you know, I get it sometimes. But, you know, you're working so many different parts here.
There's actually a video of me screaming.
Really?
Yeah, somewhere. I don't. Yeah.
Now,
I was screaming at Tommaso.
Oh, forget about it. That with him.
you know, you're talking about these guys developing their part.
Mhm.
Now, Joe, you coming into this, and Andreas also from, you know, other careers, how hard was that for you to find and I know you said you have that way of maybe that was me also, but to really develop into that part.
Yeah. So it's the passion, you know, doing something that you really enjoy, something that you're looking to maybe to fall back on one day, and when you're done with that like normal corporate world and whatnot. But it's the passion. I mean, we're really having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're enjoying ourselves.
So
it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. Do you think you guys have the edge as, you know, young aspiring actors coming up in the game for the role that you guys are playing right now and how this is set? Growing up in this area, do you think you have that edge that helps you develop into your part?
Oh, absolutely.
Knowing different people around and seeing.
Yeah, so I think it's like maybe you can say fourfold. I mean,
Yeah.
as far as having the edge, the environment that we have today with all the platforms that we have and all the streaming networks, the fact that we're portraying characters that, hey, as a kid, we probably
met
walked,
these people.
walked by us when we were sitting at the street corner.
Yeah, or seeing a guy, you're in a restaurant, you know, you're
Well,
over
growing
here.
up in Bushwick, I met so many people in that kind of industry.
Yeah.
So you know,
Yeah,
you know,
I get it, you know, and I think
you experience it.
you
learn.
experience it, and what people, the reality coming back to what you had asked me before about Brooklyn Ties is, look, when people see it out of the New York area, out of the Jersey area, out of the Connecticut area, Philly area, you know, you're in, man, that's how that life is. The reality of the realistic part of it, of that's how it comes off. And I think that's what drew me to your name and, you know, your production here. Right,
You see,
like that.
Sean, the name is already pulling.
No, I honestly, I
Thank you.
love the name.
The name
Thank
is
you.
iconic.
I think the name is
It's
definitely
amazing.
like, look, you know your business. There's so many things you can go off that name.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
But you know, let's talk about one thing here. You've been around in the industry now with social media, and you're seeing so many different creative people out there today.
Yeah.
Where do you see this going for the film industry?
To be honest with you, I think Hollywood's going to crumble. That's number one. But as far as the independent film industry, it's starting to rise. I see that starting to rise. I always said that back in 2009 because Hollywood always had everyone, together in all the big movies and all that stuff. And once these little cameras and stuff like that started to come out, changed the game. And I always said that eventually that, independent films are going to be
And your indie films and whatnot.
all
yeah.
that are going to be,
Well, the genre out
the
there
start
is
of it.
changing what people want to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
So much opportunity
That too.
for guys like us.
Yeah, and
Yes.
look, growing up, there were movie theaters where you went on a Friday or Saturday night. Like if, take for example, your movie's dropping, the only way to see it would be in a theater.
Oh, yeah.
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 Now people are dropping stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
And I think from the creative end, I don't want to use the word low budget, but people have no budgets out there sometimes
Oh, yeah.
that are creating stuff and it becomes exciting. Whereas Hollywood, it's a big production. It's a lot of money financially.
I think what changed the game as a low budget, or maybe no budget, was the Blair Witch Project. I don't know if you ever
I heard
about
of that.
that.
Yes.
Once that came out, that's what changed the game, because that movie was done on a $30,000 budget, made $250 million at the box
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
So that right there kind of like shook everybody and like, oh my God, if they could do it, so can we. Let's just buy a little camera and make a movie.
Yeah.
And then from there on, it just
Yeah, you never
Blew
know.
up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that.
you're attested to, like if you look at the old Oakland A's Billy Ball, the
Yeah.
year that they
Oh
won,
yeah,
you know, they had no budget.
yeah.
They had no budget. They
Small
had
ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
small ball. They had,
it's the way you prepare it.
you know,
I mean,
but define low budget.
Low budget. Yeah, low budget could be anywhere under 10 million. Anywhere under 10 million. I don't want to say specifics,
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what
I don't want
but
to.
it's anywhere under 10 million. That could
Right.
be any number,
right.
from 10 million to $1, you know?
Now, maybe this is too personal, and you guys could stop me off of this, but with everybody right now, is everybody just vested in their time, or are they being compensated for their time right now?
Both.
Okay,
They're both. It's both. You know,
Okay.
everybody invested, everybody's being compensated.
right,
Obviously, everybody is contracted regards to residuals and all that stuff.
right.
Yeah, so they're
So
pretty much
to protect yourself.
yeah, to protect myself, the movie, and themselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because look, so your target date is. Tell us a little bit about your target date.
Yeah, my target date to release the movies in February.
So we will see this on Amazon.
Yes, and also the trailer would drop by January.
Trailer drop by.
Yeah,
January.
I'm actually cutting it up as we speak.
So we're about what, an hour and a half of movie
1
time?
hour and 28 movie time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your anticipation here?
Hey, listen, I hope it does well. That's all I
Yeah.
can say. I hope it does well.
We feel
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
I feel it. But again, I know the critics. I know. It's just it's free. It's an opinion of everybody. You know,
Right.
so it could do good. It could do bad. I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
I just love the passion of it
I
Yeah.
think
and the
it
art
could,
of it.
I think it could go really good, or
Yeah.
it could go really, really great. But I don't think it's going to be bad.
I don't honestly.
Yeah.
The feel I get, and without seeing anything, but look, you kind of get a vibe on people and what they do, and
Right.
what they're putting into the effort and to their projects and whatever it is. Honestly, definitely see it doing good. I think something that it's going to take off maybe a little bit more than you know it and realize it, because I think everybody goes in. Look, we don't want to overpromise.
Right.
We want to, and
Yeah.
I kind of go like that with fighters, and
Overpromise,
not
underdeliver.
deliver.
Yeah,
So,
I always make that statement to the actors.
so it's
Yeah.
like you got to have that in the back of your mind right there. But you got so much time and effort, and to bring this thing to fruition is
And
just
we put
impressive.
in a lot of passion,
Yeah, I could tell. I mean, look,
You're feeling us, right, Dave? You're feeling
Yeah, because
us.
we feel
listen,
you right now.
honestly,
Dave. We feel you the way you are. so.
I could look. Like I said, even dealing with athletes, you got to have a vibe
Yeah.
around your team.
Absolutely.
There's no individualisms. You guys know each other's little innuendos here.
Right.
You know how to vibe off of each other, and you obviously have spent a lot of time with each other, and the talk of the end result. The end result is the prize. There's got to be an end game. He didn't put 6 years of it into his life just to drop a goddamn movie, and you guys are not here working
Right.
because you got nothing better to do. Or so
because we believe it.
and
We
and I
believe
think
in it.
it's
Yeah.
it takes a village to lift everybody up and to be successful. But I'm really excited to see it, and
Thank you.
I'm really
Thank you,
excited
Dave.
Thanks.
to learn a little bit more about the characters, and I really appreciate you guys coming up here.
Thank you for the
And-
invite.
That was
no,
a pleasure.
we
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
Thank you for the invite. Thank you.
100%.
Sure.
But
It was great meeting you, Dave.
yeah, a couple of things we're going to bounce around the room here, and then we'll kind of chop it up here. So I have a couple of things, and I have three of you, so we go like this, all right? So my first question is, and I know he's going to know what a foxhole is, because I had some guests who don't know what a friggin' foxhole is.
Okay.
I'll start with you, Sean.
Uh-huh.
You're in a foxhole. Who's your guy next to you? or girl? Doesn't matter. Dead, alive, whatever. Who you going to war with?
Who am I going to war with? Could it be a celebrity or?
Whoever you want, Sean.
Okay, so I would have to say Michael Bay. Michael Bay. He's one of my idols.
All right.
But, we're going to compete against each other. Even though he's got big budget movies.
Yeah.
But, that's where I actually learned off of Michael Bay. So
Yeah, that was your inspiration.
that's my inspiration.
Yeah.
But we're still going to go to war, me and him.
Yeah, that's all right. Hey, you know what? It's a good thing there.
Yeah.
It makes you better.
Yep.
It makes you
Agree with
better. Joe, who's your guy or girl?
No guy, no girl. My Smith & Wesson 45 is what I'll carry, man. I carry my sidearm. I believe in my Second Amendment, and
I was going to tell you
that
the
bad
38.
boy, that bad boy,
Old-fashioned.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
like the
that
38.
bad
don't
boy
want it to
isn't
lock.
gonna
No, I like the revolver.
isn't gonna jam. It's
All right.
listen, and I'll have my Glock 45 on my back end, but no, it's
All right.
it's. I'm a big hunter. I'll show you some
Yeah, I got
pictures
my
afterwards.
24/7 carry. I got it. In
All right.
6.5 months, I give it to
Yeah.
you.
So what about you, Andrea? Who you bringing with you?
Well, listen. Sometimes it's better to be by yourself than being with the wrong person.
Okay.
So I probably trust myself better by myself to have someone next to me that.
You got to rely on?
Yeah, and sometimes they make more problems.
I got you.
So I think, but if I have to pick somebody, I pick Joe. So I know you wouldn't stab me in the back.
I know Andrea's a phone call away, and Sean's right behind.
That's it.
Yeah,
So it's a non-issue. We're all there for one another.
So we help each other. We do the
So-
best we can.
The big premiere should be probably the end of February, March. So
Where are you doing it?
I'll tell Joe to give you 2
Yeah.
tickets.
I appreciate it.
And you come
Be
out.
honored.
Manhattan.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
I'd
you
be
gotta
honored.
come.
I'd be
man.
honored.
Absolutely.
I'd be honored to.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. I mean, I'd love to have you guys up after you drop it again.
Yeah,
Or
absolutely.
maybe
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what?
Movie, yeah.
Maybe we can talk about Offset here
Yeah.
today about maybe coming down and getting some of the cast members before, pump you guys up a little bit
Okay.
and see where we could work
Oh,
together.
that's great.
Do a
Absolutely.
little stuff like that, and
Yeah.
whatever we can do to help. And I'm really really excited. So Sean, kind of give everybody and Joe and Andrea too, obviously, social media where we can find you. We're looking for the premiere, but right now I know you're not putting too much out there.
Yeah, I don't like to say too much, but you can find the Brooklyn Ties on Instagram. Just go to Brooklyn Ties and you'll see all the information and videos and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you could see also that scene we
you
did
can also
in
see
the
some
social
scenes
club.
that are on the Instagram account, Brooklyn
Okay.
Ties. So it's some of it's there.
Joe, shout out where we can find you.
On Instagram, same way as Brooklyn Ties, Joe
Okay.
Digiovanna,
Yeah.
same.
Andrea Prestigiacomo official. I'm in Facebook and also Instagram, also
Yeah.
TikTok. Yeah.
Look at that, man. You're like me. We're all timers now coming into the social
man.
media.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It took me a
And
while
doing
to
quite
learn.
well, man, I may add.
Yeah.
No, that's
quite well.
Listen, I think you got to reinvent yourself sometimes, and that's the great part
Absolutely,
about
absolutely.
things right now today. Not being one dimensional, being able to do different things is exciting, and
Yeah.
learning. But guys, I really appreciate you out there. Keep an eye out for this, premiere Brooklyn Ties. You'll have stuff up on my Instagram, on my Facebook, on my TikTok, on my YouTube, all that stuff. As far as this, we'll be promoting these guys up. And until the next Coach's Corner, train hard, train smart, and we'll see you at the next round. I'm Coach Dave. Welcome back to Coach's Corner.
Come on.